That is awesome. I want to talk about his other products because they're so
Yeah,
amazing.
let's show them.
Let's just talk about like the pro golfers all have, like Tiger Woods chews his gum and all kinds of golfers, and Phil Mickelson uses his hand, the nerve.
Yeah.
Like, well, he knows more, but I just know only a little.
These fun colors.
They're so good. I want to hear all about
cool,
it.
cool.
We
Yeah,
think that you're like the Willy Wonka
Yeah.
supplement. That's what it reminds, like in the best way possible. Like it's fun, it's colorful, and you just like have so many amazing, like you're so creative with like your blend.
Thanks, thank you. Yeah, we so just to give you kind of like maybe this quick little pitch or whatever. Okay, we're not pitch or message or whatever. So Proze is a performance nutrition brand, and we have developed 5 specific products that focus on areas that I feel you need to have at optimum to elevate your performance for you to be able to thrive. We use specific philosophies that we have developed. I don't own them, but they are philosophies that, I've brought together over my years and then we use a whole host of nature-rich ingredients and formulations to deliver that. And one of the ones that people talk a lot about is CBD, but it is just one of our 90 different phytomedicinals. And I wanted to kind of just outline that because then you can understand, we are a performance nutrition company.
Yeah.
We focus on relief of pain, on sleep, on immunity, on focus and clarity and concentration, and then also emotional balance. So we have 5 products that focus on each of those things, right? And then we, like I said, have specific philosophies, and then we use a lot of different types of ingredients. So I'll kind of go through them. You want me to?
I want to share a little bit about this gum. Okay,
Yeah.
So literally we've tried all of this. So because one, it's so fun looking, but also the behind it. So my daughter had a 2-hour project that she had to do last week, and the whole pack is gone now. When I went to go have one piece, but I have to tell you, she was able to she did this whole thing on Alexander Hamilton, and her and Nicole, they sat through and they got it done within like 2 hours. But she chewed this gum, and she's on online school right now, so it's harder too because you're at home, right? You've got distraction city. And so she was able to hone in, and she chewed this gum and she loved it. And then throughout the whole week, she asked for the gum. And so she chewed it and she got through school and she finished strong before spring break. And it was awesome when I got one piece of it. So it was awesome when I used it for one piece, but she loved it. And it was, she got home. I mean, she's 13, right? So they're distractible. So this really helped her focus. And for me, I think that there's a lot of stuff out there. And I think us as moms, we're always trying to help our children figure out how to focus, right? There's a lot of medicines, which, listen, we all are trying to do this the same. So there's no handbook, so I'm not judging, and there's nothing. But I do know that the products that are out there to give to help our children focus, they're meth-based. And that's just not good for their brain, unfortunately. And they weren't meant to fit in this box. So if I could give her some of this gum, the CBD gum, that has other things in it, like the peppermint oil, amazing things that he has integrated into it, then I'm doing it, because if I can actually help her, then I will.
Yeah. This was thank you for sharing that. It's an amazing product. It we get everyone from kind of, as you mentioned, the professional athlete that's using it during play, all the way to, a lot of kids using it to study and to take tests and such, because the premise of what both of them are using it for is the same, right? They need to just feel relaxed and calm so that they're able to have a greater level of mental acuity, cognitive function, clarity. When you are at your calmest, you're able to be more cognitively available, okay, right? And I think that's what gets kind of, a little bit confusing to people, is that they will take stimulants to try to give them like this mental performance, right? Well, if you do that and you try to stimulate the body in that way, you create this like anxiety and nervousness and actually lack of clarity and
Yes,
lack of focus, right? It's like I always use the example of like, you know, the athlete, the quarterback that's in the playing football, he's in the pocket, Tom Brady, if you will, you know, he's very calm in that pocket. And because he's calm with all of the chaos that's going around him, he's able to then be able to do what he needs to do with precision, okay, right? If you get a guy in there who all of a sudden, like a rookie, who just gets all kind of crazy and wild because the pocket's, you know, folding in on him and there's guys running around, he's going to be in this state of kind of chaos. And so that's essentially what, you know, Yippies is doing, in the sense that how the product actually got developed was I was actually developing a product with beets. Are you familiar with beets?
I love beets.
We freaking love
We
beets.
love beets.
Okay.
We are on
Yeah.
the beet train.
Okay, so I developed this product that was a beet powder. And when you start doing the research with beets, yeah, it's amazing.
Yes, I'm excited.
It's called cardio beets. Another plug. But anyways, it was how beets functions is beets are a natural source of nitrates.
Yep.
And these nitrates then get metabolized in the body to nitric oxide, and so a signaling gas. And this nitric oxide is a vasodilator, so it helps the blood vessels to relax, and it increases blood flow and circulation. And as you increase blood flow and circulation, you also create oxygenation, okay, right? And so that's how that works. And so as I was studying that and I was looking at other types of things that were also producing nitric oxide, one of the things was a process, a physical process, which is chewing.
Yes.
So when you chew, you are actually creating nitric oxide. You're signaling the body to create nitric oxide. So that was kind of my whole thing about, wow, wait a second. Well, if you could create a product, essentially a gum, a form that allowed to leverage this process of nitric oxide, whatever you put into the gum, you would actually be able to systemically and also easily get it into the bloodstream and flowing through the body. So, but the problem with gum is that there's not a lot of space that you can put a lot of ingredients in. Well, CBD happens to be an ingredient that you can put a very small amount and get a high degree of benefit from. So I started kind of with that. And then I'm an essential oils formulator as well too. And so one of the essential oils that helps to promote, you know, mental focus and clarity and energy essentially, you know, is peppermint oil. So I kind of leverage the use of the limbic system and these essential oils and then develop this gum that has this great benefit where and I'm the only gum that is proven to release its CBD from the gum base, which is really important because there's a lot of kind of like just products out there that are junk, but and so that's how you get this really great benefit. And yeah, it's a great product. Like I said, a lot of different types of uses. As your daughter, a lot of golfers, a lot of sports players and professionals that are in that time in which you've got to be focused for an extended period of time, you know, right? And which is the same thing as if you were taking tests or doing research or studying or whatever.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's a safer way, much safer way than you know, taking some of these other pharmaceuticals and things like that.
She
So.
chewed the whole pack, but
Yeah,
in a safer way.
Yeah.
It's so funny because it's like you almost have to unlearn things you think you know about how you're supposed to feel. Even like you, where you're like, I woke up with way too much energy. It's like, no, that's actually right. But you think that's not how you're supposed to feel. And even with like what you're talking about with this gum, that's what I noticed is like, it's such a balance. Like as a student, you think like, okay, I need to focus. I'm gonna get a cup of coffee and do what I need to do. But then you're like so wired you can't even like focus because you're so like strung out on like the caffeine. But this just makes you feel even killed where you just kind of zero in on your project and you just it's crazy.
Yeah.
But you have to unlearn those.
It's magic.
things.
It's magic gum.
Yeah.
You should get some.
Yeah, you have to
Give it to your kids.
You have to understand that at the very end of the day, you know, what you're trying to do is you're trying to gain the greatest, you know, your aura of energy essentially. And the most powerful way to tap in on that is when you're completely at balance. And because when you're at balance, or the term is, homeostasis, you are able to be energy efficient. And when you're energy efficient, you have now the ability to endure. You have the ability for greater long-term benefit and health because you're energy efficient. If you were like a car, right? A car that is old and its machines are not working properly and such, it will use up a lot of gas.
Yeah.
For the same amount of travel as a newer car. Well, what essentially happened is it became energy inefficient. And so therefore you're not going to get as much out of what you put in. And I think that's where our bodies can be sometimes, is in a very inefficient stage.
Yeah, like the pipes are dirty, like the oils were
completely.
not changed,
Yeah.
Car. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good metaphor.
So that is